I think the girls with their nails done now.
Oh my god, Saucy!
The girls with their nails done.
Debating on peeking, and in fact he's going to find the stall right away. Finds Kiku as well, and finds Lipa. Beautifully done here from Lavelle has this covered. Lavelle with a double, possibly one more. Can he find them? He's going to find the triple.
Hello everybody and welcome to Saints Gaming Call of Duty. Big night here for the Call of Duty squad for St. Clair. Is there in the Collegiate Call of Duty East Qualifier tournament here tonight. 42 teams competing for a $16,000 prize pool. I'm joined alongside Dan Banners. How you feeling about tonight's matchup?
Definitely good, and holy smokes, these guys are already getting into the swing of things, so I apologize for the lack of introduction, but we're going to be starting off here, of course, on the Checkmate Hardpoint. Best of 3 action here for all the matches here tonight, and we're starting things off against the Penn State Junior Varsity squad.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big difference from the Penn State main squad. I know the Penn State main squad is actually 6-1 right now in the CCL, so they're off to a good start. So you got to assume these JV squad is actually pretty solid as well. I know the St. Clair Esports Club, just like us, is pretty solid as well. They're going to be competing in tonight as well as us. But Penn State, they're going to take an early start in an 18-0 lead, but St. Clair Saints finally going to clear the hill with Priestley finding 2. He's 5-2 to start this game off, and he's going to be the first one to gather some hill time for St. Clair. Now you see the rest of St. Clair. They're on the rotation. They're ready to go. Priestley going to slip back, find 1, but get traded out instantly.
Yeah, Saucenato not going to be long for this world either. However, with the transition to the new hardpoints, we do have Brandon, who was on an absolute tear in the match versus the University of Windsor earlier on in the week. Was there, starting to gather up some points, does get taken down rather quickly, however. So it's going to be Arc on the side of Penn State JV to take control of this point for at least for the moment. Brandon going to go down. Lavelle not going to be long for this world either. Sauce going to try and take the long roundabout way here. As Priestley finds himself 1, he almost found himself a 2nd, but at least Saucenato is going to be right there from the side to find himself a refrag in this situation. Looking to try and get towards that hill, however, there's like 20 seconds left on it.
Yeah, so St. Clair, they're a little bit behind on rotations right now. And Blanche and Epics, they're on a 5 streak and a 3 streak. So the slang is definitely coming out, and it doesn't seem Lavelle and Brandon can do a whole lot for the side of St. Clair right now. And, you really just got to see the rotations come in for St. Clair and for them to get set up on a hill, which it looks like they will do so going into next underneath plane. They're going to have a pretty good positioning, but still not a whole lot of map control on that one. Sauce will be the first player to get on the point, but he has to do a lot of work here. He's only going to find 1 before he gets cleaned up, but Priestley going to come in here. He's going to find 1, get traded as well. So a lot of trades going down overall. But the thing that's making a big difference here is Penn State. They actually are making a very good impact on the hill time where they're going to slay out St. Clair and they're going to hop on it. They're going to make sure the rotations are on lock while cleaning up the rest of it. And, Penn State, just really no mistakes from them so far in this one, 70-30 as they lead by 40.
Well, that's just it. You can go 1 for 1 with your trades all the time, but Penn State is going to be the ones laughing to the bank if they're the ones still on the point at the end of the day. As we see Brandon gets himself onto it. Nice little jump shot there from Arc to finish off the job. Last one alive here for at least the time being here is going to be Priestley. Does find Epics on the side of Penn State. Now, next hardpoint right around the corner here. We do see Priestley already there.
That was a big kill for Priestley because, like you just said, he's already there. And if he didn't get that kill, he'd have to respawn, run all the way back, and they would give rotations to Penn State. That was a very crucial gunfight if Saints wants to start crawling back in this one. And Priestley, he's going to follow it up with another one and a triple, just completely defending the site. Put him on a 5 streak, going to tag down Johnson weak and allow Sauce to be there to recover for it. And this is typically how Saints play hardpoint. So I'm glad to see them stepping up and playing how they are now, rather than how it was at the beginning of this game. And look at this, Sauce and Priestley and their ARs are going to do absolutely phenomenal work clearing out the hard point. And Saints now only trailing by 16 as they are sweeping this hill.
It was looking a little bit rough to start things off, but not so much anymore. We do see Saints keeping at least honest here with the side of Penn State, but First, let's take a look a little bit further towards the plane as this next hard point going to be coming around the corner. Pretty much in the wide open section here. And it's going to be Brandon actually find himself a double, trying to hop on over to him, but struggling a little bit here on the caster side of things. But Johnson with a solid double kill to keep his team in the game. Priestley is right there on point as well. Shots fired. Epic's going to go down. Solid shots there from Priestley, but the rest of his Saints are falling, and it soon will be him as well. And it's going to be Penn State able to pick up this hard point for at least the moment. Another solid shot here from Johnson, taking care of Brandon.
Yeah, and this Penn State JV squad is really proving themselves considering they are a JV squad. Both of Penn State's rosters are actually looking fairly well now that I get a look at this JV squad. And Brandon, he's going to clean up Arc there, so that's a very big gunfight for them to regain next kill control. And Lavelle going to follow it up with Epics getting killed. And, you know, if you're St. Clair now, you're glad that you brought it back a little bit, but you're kind of losing the lead. But Sauce, huge 2 kills. And that's going to open it up a little bit for some final kills from the side of the Saints and open up the hill a little bit more as well. Now allowing St. Clair to get rotations on lock. And they are ready inside this plane and ready to start racking up some kills. As Priestley and Brandon both connect on a 1. Priestley will fall shortly after. And Blanche, he's going to be the first person to try to crack into the site here.
Yeah, Lavelle's already there, ready to contest as well. Trophy system in play too, to at least get rid of some of these grenades. And Priestley going to find Blanche, going to take him out nice and quick. Sauce is off to the side, trying to find anybody. Maybe trying to make the look around here. Maybe enter through the wing. And we're going to see, actually, there is one player who's going to be able to jump out, instantly get the refrag onto Johnson to allow this battle in the plane to just go a little bit smoother, as we do see Sauce right under it, actually. It's going to be Penn State going to get themselves at least a little bit of points here before the switch up. And where is Sauce? Still kind of sharking from beneath. There goes Blanche, as he's going to take himself another one. Sauce going to be just barely going negative to start off this round. But look at the Saints side of things. Priestley, he's coming in hot right now with that 23 kill mark.
Yeah, and Lavelle just looking like he has a little bit of a slow start throughout this one, trailing the lobby in kills. And all they need is just one player on Saints to really do a little bit more. And I think it makes such a big impact on them. Priestley, he's just looking for a little bit of help right now, as he's just out-fragging everyone by so much. And, you know, he has so much time on Hill and everything like that. Priestley has a great stat line overall from the side of the Saints. But it's Johnson. He's doing very similar things for the side of Penn State. And, you know, this game is really starting now to swing into Penn State's favor as they lead by 70. And that gets real scary if you're the Saints.
Absolutely, as we see with 20 seconds left, Saints still trying to get the crumbs here on this last one. Sauce going to find himself an elimination. They're going to try and get a move on, but it's not going to quite be enough here. Lavelle pistol out, must have ran out of bullets or something with the AR, and he's going to go down. So now, with next to nothing left on this point, might as well get ready inside the plane, or right below it, I think, is where the next hard point will be. Sure enough, I think it is below it, in fact. So it's going to be Sauce on point, ready to start gathering up as much points as possible. See Lavelle doing what he does best, just constantly in the flanks. However, it does seem like Epix just absolutely had his number in that situation. But he's going to go down nice and quick. But at least there's still enough Saints reinforcements for the time being. From the top of the plane, Epix again alongside Blanche, going to just make things absolutely difficult here for St. Clair. Point is going to be sent into the favor of Penn State to start, or at this halfway point of this next hard point. Lavelle, Arc, and Epix just absolutely on a tear here from this Penn State squad, especially for this hard point specifically, after just constantly finding kill after kill. Gets an Arc, gets another one on the Priestley, and Saints are kind of stuck again, maybe looking for the next transition.
Yeah. I feel St. Clair just doesn't look really comfortable on this map right now. Like, they are still getting a good amount of slaying power out and still getting some kills, but it just really doesn't look like they're comfortable on these rotations or holding a point or whatever it may be, retaking it, whatever it is. It doesn't really look like they are too comfortable in this, where compared to when I've seen them on, for example, Moscow or any other really map, Raid, per se. They look a lot more comfortable in the past few days that I've seen them on Raid rather than something like Checkmate. So it really is interesting to see, but I really do think St. Clair has potential to bounce back. These are best of threes, so this could go fairly quick. And one map, that just makes one map so much more crucial. So for Penn State here to have this 110-point lead right now, map one, St. Clair, that's got to be scary.
Absolutely. Of course, like you're saying, with it being best of 3, there is very little room for error at all. Not very much time to actually make any proper adjustments. Nice little pistol kill there from Brandon, but now within the next couple of moments, 5 seconds away, Saints are going to clean up the scraps here. Sure, that's fine. You get 5 points. Well, your opponents are 8 away from actually winning this thing, and they very well might do so. It's going to be a bit of a sprint race, actually, as we do have Brandon alongside Ark trying to get contest of this point. Goes down instantly. Sauce is right there as well. Going to get mowed down. Nobody else from the Saints able to contest with 3 seconds left to go. I think this one is absolutely going in the favor of Penn State, and sure enough, that is going to be the case. Literally, like, doubling the amount of points there from the side of St. Clair. So solid job, this Penn State squad. I mean, we talked about how good their main team is. So if this is the JV team that's maybe constantly practicing with that main team, they damn well be scary too.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, that's why we always say in the caster booth, like, we cannot underestimate these JV rosters, because it generally does not really reflect on their quality of play at all, I'd really say sometimes. Like, yes, they may be the JV roster, and yes, they may have a main roster that is the main one that's being marketed and promoted, whatever it may be. But even at the same time, you see so many of these schools these days have 2 Call of Duty rosters. You really cannot underestimate any single one of them. So Penn State really going to prove themselves there to open things up, 250 to 125 on Checkmate Hardpoint. We're going to be moving on to the Search and Destroy coming up here, and that's going to be on Miami S&D. And, you know, I know the St. Clair boys look good on Miami, so I'm really hoping they can pull something out here on Miami Search and Destroy.
I mean, we know they love their Miami, of course, but Search and Destroy has been a mode that is so hit and miss with them so far this season. Maybe not so much in the CCL, like, main season, but I just keep thinking back to the Kickstarter tournament for CCL that happens a couple weeks prior to the main season happening, where pretty much every Search and Destroy just absolutely was like 6-2, 6-1, not in the favor of St. Clair, and they basically just got disintegrated just like that. So we'll have to see what happens moving forward here. Of course, in the main CCL season itself, they've been doing all right. We've been seeing a lot of Miami Search, and they've been doing okay. So if there is a game mode or a game style that they can come back in, this is going to be a nice change of pace for them going into Game 2, for sure.
Yeah, I agree completely. And, you know, Priestley, he's going to be a big part in the Search and Destroy, I feel. Just how he is with his ARs and how he is at holding angles. Miami is a very long-range map in a lot of gunfights, and where you got to hold some angles and you know, just use your AR and how it's supposed to be used. And Priestley is amazing at that. That's why he is such a strong player, is him getting that M4 out and just shredding people. So big difference there for Priestley and that AR. He's going to have a big impact on the Search and Destroy. I think if he goes off, we think we win it. If he doesn't perform up to what he usually does, I think it could be a little rough for us. But even then, St. Clair, they know they're in dire position now to win this next map, right? At this point, you need to reverse sweep Penn State JV if you want to continue on in the winners portion of this bracket, which I know for certainty they do not want to go to losers round 1 and have to fight for another 4 win over and over and over. So
yeah, we were kind of just discussing this before hopping into production. Yeah, if you end up hopping into losers bracket after your first game, in order to make it into day 2, into tomorrow's matches, you need 5 wins. 5 best of 3s.
4.
4?
4, yeah, because you lose this one, then you only go to round 4 on losers today.
Right. Okay, there we go. Keeping the knowledge proper here. Thank you, Jackson. But yeah,
if we lose this one, we have to win 4 in losers to advance to tomorrow. So
that's still a grind. That's still such a grind.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Definitely brutal here. Now, of course, predictions coming out here in the Twitch chat. Unfortunately, did not quite get enough time to fire it off the first time by. But hey, do you think Saints are going to take it back and send this into a Game 3? Be sure to let us know via your channel points in the Twitch chat.
I think this one's going to be really close. You know, for anyone making a prediction, I really do think this one's really a gamble. I mean, depending on whatever you are voting for, but we are actually going to start and kick off with things. That's what we like to see. So Penn State, St. Clair, and that's going to be 3 players falling right away.
Unfortunately, catching me slipping a little bit in regards to the transition. Apologize about that. But yes, it was ended up being Brandon finding himself 2 quick ones after nearly getting jumped on. So now it's going to be all up to Arc to try and get this. I think they're on the attacking side of things too. So this is going to be a bit of a struggle for Arc and the rest of Penn State. Brandon going to find himself the triple, the finisher here in this matchup. So Saints going to take the first round.
Yeah, and they took it pretty dominantly. I mean, that was like, what, a 1v4 at that point? Or 1v3?
It ended up being the 1v3, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a pretty dominant one. Like, you know, only losing 1 player throughout all that. So, pretty good performance there from the Saints. And, you know, Brandon, he's going to be a big part in that. I didn't touch on Brandon. I touched on Priestley a little bit more. But I got to talk about Brandon, too. He's got to get some of the respect that he deserves. These past few games in the CCL, he's been playing so amazing. You know, going on that 17 streak against the U-Windsor roster. And Brandon, he's going to continue to prove himself as he finds 3 in the opening round of the Search and Destroy.
And we're going to see an odd switch up here. I always make fun of the Saints or the way this map gets played competitively because it just seems like teams just kind of throw their head up against B and hope for the best. But we're actually seeing Saints making a trip over to the A site. We don't see this very often at all. Might be able to move on forward. We do see the rest of the Penn State squad from the mini-map looking to make their way and try to rotate over. This could be the free plant if he can stick it. Sauce going to get that. So now it's going to be Penn State with their hands tied.
Yeah, that's a free plant. And, you know, there's 40 seconds now where they have to kill 4 Saints players and defuse this bomb. Saints have this round, I think. I'm calling it right now. I do not think Saints throw this round. They have so many players on Penn State push back. They're going to get the opening pick on Arc, providing them a player advantage. Priestley's going to get the trade onto Sauce there. Now a 2v2, though, because Epic will find Brandon. But look at this. Only 20 seconds left, but they have to still defuse the bomb. Priestley can just play around this bomb. He's going to find one. He's going to slide behind the border. He's going to make it out of his life. And look at Epic's. He is in no position to defuse this bomb. Oh, my God. He got it. He got it. Oh, my God. He got it with like 0.1 second. It's literally like 0.1. He got it.
Oh my goodness, what a play there from Epic. See, we were just going on saying that I don't know how the Saints throw that round, but something just absolutely got obliterated. And I think it was this double here from Epic. He does find the one. He does find Lavelle by the boat as well. And then he was able to clutch up in the end. So huge play from Epic. And that is definitely a pop-off moment there for the side of Penn State. Feel-good moment, in fact.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And, you know, that was so close. I mean, who was the last player alive? Was it Priestley? No, it was...
yeah, it was Priestley. He did get one, but that was it.
Yeah, so one of the big things there from Priestley that really hurt him, and that one was he just got spotted just half a second before he wanted to be actually spotted. So if he was just able to live just a second longer, he would have gotten so much. But Sauce and Brandon are going to make up for it. 2 opening picks here in a round 3 on the Search and Destroy as Saints are back on defense. And Saints, they look really strong on the defense side of things so far.
Oh yeah, defensively, it seems like night and day as of this moment here, where there's just eyes on absolutely everything. And Priestley going to find that one. Can he find himself the final shot here? It's going to be all up to Arc again on the side of Penn State to try and close this round out. But definitely going to be a tall task. He does spot Priestley, but it's not going to matter. Going to take him down. Saints going to take the lead by 1 so far in this Search and Destroy.
Yeah, and the Saints are going to continue to win the defense rounds, I think. That's my prediction going into this. I think the Saints are going to continue to look dominant on defense just because of how much they have been winning these rounds by. You know, they either have 3 to 4 players alive every time they're winning a defense so far. I know we're only 2 rounds into it, but I just know how the Saints play on Miami. And realistically, they should almost be up 3-0 right here. They, like, if you
just close
that one out... Yeah, so the one round that Penn State does have is close, where the Saints rounds are pretty dominant, and that's just why I feel that the Saints shouldn't really have to stress too hard right now so far, as they get 2 opening picks. Epics will get a trade, but, you know, that's a 2-for-1 trade. You'll Saints will take that any day, especially in 44 Search and Destroy.
Absolutely. We do see down towards the bottom here at the southern side of this map, Sauce and Priestley looking to maybe make a move here onto this B site. It is going to be Epics, the hero from the last defense. Excuse me. Trying to hold on for now, but actually Sauce might be going to move on over with Priestley and Lavelle to maybe try and take the point to A. And right now, it looks like they're solidly going to be able to do so. Arc made his way over from A and is now covering the B site as well. And they have to be thinking to themselves, okay, it's maybe a little bit too quiet. What's going on? And Sauce, we see, taking the round trip, staying out of any sort of sight lines, going to be able to plant this for free unless Arc and Epics get themselves a hunch of something.
Yeah, and this plant is really what's going to be the game changer. I mean, no one's close. He's going to get the plant. I guarantee it. And now look at this. It's a 3v2, and they have to retake Penn State, and they have to do it in 40 seconds. That's the biggest thing with Search and Destroy COD, right? Look at the time. I feel like it takes so quick where these teams, and that takes 7.5 seconds to defuse. Now, it's all left onto him once again.
Yeah, the hero from last time, Epics, is gone down. Gonna be up to Arc, who seems to always be the last person alive, but not necessarily the last person that can get the job done. So now, Saint's gonna finally bring this to a 2-point lead, getting that offensive win that they probably should have had last time, but better late than never.
Yeah, for sure. Better late than never. And, you know, they do take that 3-1 lead now. It could have been 4-0, but I don't think they're too stressed, as Epics is really the only one putting a little bit of damage onto St. Clair, where you have Brandon, Priestley, and Sauce all outperforming, like firing on all cylinders, playing amazing. So Epics will be the bomb carrier this time around. And I think if you're Penn State here, you try to get aggressive on a site and take control of it, just like Saints have. And, it's really going to be interesting to see what Penn State does here. They are playing a little bit slow, waiting to try to get a pick, and that almost pays off as Brandon gets peppered down to like 30 HP.
Nearly going down, but going to hang on by a thread. But this time, it's actually going to be Penn State making the move towards A, and it's going to be Lavelle, who's there all by himself to try and call it out. He's going to bring the rest of his teammates around. They're going to keep actually Brandon over towards the B side, but Priestley and Sauce have made their way over. So they do have themselves at least a bit of a decent crossfire. It's going to be Priestley, actually, first blood here in this round, taking care of Johnson. Johnson, man, he had himself such a good hard point, but as soon as we made the switch to Search and Destroy, he has been absolutely cold, to say the least, here in this matchup. Currently, no kills to his name as of right now. Nothing but 5 deaths. Now we do see Brandon making the move over. He does have Blanche right around the corner, does not quite realize it. But Priestley going to clean that up, actually. Can the side of Penn State get this bomb down? They don't have much time left. We see Epics making his way around. Can we find Priestley? Priestley finds him instead, and that is going to be the cleanup. Beautifully done there from Priestley.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I was talking about pre-game, right? Like, Priestley is going to have to be the player to watch. Just his AR on Miami, on Search, look at what it does right here. I mean, it's just a machine from these long-range gunfights. And he's going to get rewarded with that. I think that's 7-8-1 from Priestley. Absolutely phenomenal. On a bloodthirsty now. And Saints are leading 4-1. They could almost be up 5-0 if they didn't just have that one defuse. And I know Saints, this is what I was talking about a few rounds ago, and they aren't probably worried. They are very, very confident on Miami. Like you were talking about, yes, it may have been pretty hit or miss in the preseason, but lately, they've looked really strong in Miami, and I think they've worked on their Miami Search and Destroy game.
How many times are they going to let Brandon run in here and instantly get a frag? But actually, Blanche just popped off hard there with the double. So that is going to turn things for a loop for the Saints. And Lavelle has been spotted on the outside. Granted, not the bomb carrier, but can he find this one? He's not going to be able to find it. Blanche finds himself a triple. Ace possible here if he can find himself Sauce Nato, who is with the carry, but he's going to get shut down. Nicely done there from Sauce. The 1v2, difficult, but not impossible. It's going to be Arc, who's going rather cold here in this game, as well as Johnson. So really, definitely doable here in regards to momentum for the St. Clair squad. If Sauce can clean this one up, the two coldest players on the side of Penn State here for the defense. Like, they do get the jump on him. Nicely done.
They knew where he was. Like, they got him kind of trapped on that little corner of the map. So they knew he either had a Chow B or if he wrapped out to go A, one of the players from Penn State would have actually caught him there. And this Blanche double is really what opened up the whole round for Penn State. Now 4-2, Saints still leading, and they actually are back on the defensive side where I think they are a little bit more comfortable. And the Saints are just going to looking to continue to feed and rack up their win count now to match point and hopefully close this one up and tie the series 1-1. But, you know, we still do have a couple rounds before that does happen. This isn't over till the Fat Lady sings. So let's see what goes on here. And it's Johnson still unable to get on the board, but Priestley couldn't get shut down from Arc on a nice little drop shot there. Now turning things to a 3v4 in favor of Penn State. And that's what they need. Offensive offensive first blood, and to allow them to open up the map a little bit more.
Yeah, something to mess with your minds there a little bit. Arc being able to find himself that finishing kill in that last one may have given him the boost of momentum necessary to get himself back into his game, as he does find the kill onto Priestley as well to get things moving here. Now, granted, of course, it is going to be the side of... oh, it's unfortunate there for Lavelle. That's the player he tries to get the jump on, ends up running aside. Brandon going to go down as well. Can Sauce find himself a couple? He definitely needs to. Jumps on in. He finds himself the double to tie this one up in regards to... excuse me, to player on the boards. And the bomb is down. He's spotted it out. And this is the worst case scenario now for Penn State.
This, like, they have to go absolutely huge here. And Sauce is just going to open up with a pick. Yes, he might...
Oh!
They got too aggressive. They didn't even need to challenge that,
nope.
to be honest. They did not have enough time to plant and everything. All he had to do was run away and play his life, but a little bit too aggressive there from Lavelle. He was trying to push out and help out his teammate, but it turned out to be a double for Arc, and that could change the outcome of this game. That was a big play there. But we are 7 rounds in this game, and It's Johnson still hasn't been able to get on the board. I mean, that is really, really interesting to me just because of how he played in that hard point. I was really expecting him to be one of the top fraggers for Penn State right now. But it's looking like Epix, Blanche, and Arc are all doing a lot of work right now. And, I mean, Priestley and Sauce, they're going to continue to feed as well. So this is really interesting to see everything overall. And I'm really going to be interested to see if St. Clair can actually pull off an offensive round when they're going to decide to stick to the A site. It's Johnson going to get tagged. Priestley tagged as well. Nice little close gunfight there, but not going to result in much other than some shots taken. Lavelle going to be falling to Blanchard away, though. Not a good opening if you're St. Clair. Penn State looking to tie this one up 4 apiece now, as they have the player advantage here in round 8. Yeah, St. Clair, they're going to have to struggle to get this bomb down. Well, they're in a 34-player disadvantage.
Yeah, there's no surprises here either. They know where everybody is at. Priestley's going to at least tie this up 3-3. However, they need to try and figure out a strategic move and make it happen quickly. Sauce beelining it towards that B site as fast as possible, with Brandon there on the crossfire to try and catch anybody on the rotation. Does he spot them out? Arc's on the way. Epic, Johnson, all trying to make their way over, and it's going to be Johnson. Okay, he's going to go down, so Saints do have the player advantage going into this battle if Brandon can get there in time. We do see Priestley on site. Saucedo does go down. Epix finds himself a double. It's going to be up to the rookie. Brandon, can you somehow make this 1v2? I don't know how you do it, and it's going to be Epix who clutches up yet again. We have ourselves a tie game.
These clutches, it was Arc and Epix. Arc was the one who 1v2'd last time around. And Epix finding this bomb planter and getting Priestley there. Absolutely huge to shut down that site. Priestley, big kill to try to clean up Epix there on the heady. But he wasn't able to do so, leaving everything up to Brandon. And that's a round cleanup for side of Penn State. 4 apiece now. If you're St. Clair, this is where you start to get a little bit worried. You want to tighten things up. And this defensive round is really where they're going to have to do so, right? Because they're guaranteed, if they win this round, they're guaranteed another defense if they lose the next offense.
Absolutely.
But if they don't, they're going to have to do a lot of work here to try to win that offense going in the next round. So huge round here overall from the side of the Saints. And they will be right push up onto the B site, waiting for some players from Penn State to challenge them.
Yeah, I like that Brandon's not just diving into the building like he was prior rounds and just wait to the stairwell, fire some grenades in, just do whatever little chip damage you can. Make them try to think otherwise. Johnson nearly getting the jump onto Brandon, but going to get him aside. The Saints still at a bit of a standstill. Lavelle going to be making a rotate over, as it seems like Penn State pretty much committed here to this B push.
Yeah, and, you know, Brandon and everybody rotating over. I mean, like, there's nobody even near A. Lavelle, that's going to throw off some intel for St. Clair, though, because they might start to think they might be hitting A. So you're going to see Lavelle to continue to focus his attention over there around A. Brandon going to find one on B, though. Now that's a 4v2. This is a good positioning for St. Clair, as they're going to try to break through this B side with only 2 players. Priestley going to tag Epix down real weak. And Penn State can't seem to get a whole lot of map control. They don't have a whole lot of time. Epix is going to fall with the bomb, leaving everything up to It's Johnson. It's Johnson, will he be able to find his first kill of the game here?
Nope.
No, he won't. As St. Clair going to put themselves at match point. Now, can Penn State win 2 in a row? I mean, St. Clair, they might struggle a little bit on this offense, but I think they're pretty damn happy that they will be ending up on the defense side once again if they don't win it here.
Of course, and there is no overtime situations. No, you have to win by 2 or any rule like that. So that defense for the Saints is going to be the decider if they cannot close it out right here, right now. Do they want to try and go for A? To be honest, I feel like A has been their more successful push, at least as of this moment. But they're going to try and beeline it towards B once again, and see if they can get themselves some quick early kills. But again, Blanche, solid adjustment. He's going to get refragged for it, but constantly, round after round after round, the Saints have been just charging up those stairs and trying to get the gunfight there. So you know what? While you're looking at the stairway, I'll come through the doorway and take you out for free. Solid little adjustment to at least go 1 for 1.
Yeah, I completely agree. Penn State playing that one really smart. I think Blanche has been one of the smartest players from Penn State throughout this Search and Destroy game. He definitely has a brain that really works well in Search and Destroy game mode. And now we have a 3v3, though, as the refrag goes down. But that's worrying for Penn State. That's your top fragger out of the game. Like, yes, Brandon is one of the top fraggers for St. Clair, too, but they also have Priestley and Sauce they can also rely on, right? So where you're Penn State, the other players are 7-5. Well, he's like, all right, my other players are 10-4, 9-6. So I mean, that was a decent trade overall, but it's going to be hard to kind of break through something on the offensive side of things now with only 3 players, less angles you have to watch. But Penn State will be watching less angles as they have lost players as well. Ark's going to be spotted on the cross. Tag down from Lavelle, real weak. Unable to get cleaned up, though, as Sauce finds one, but Priestley's there for the refrag onto Ark. 2v2, Priestley and Lavelle versus
10
Johnson
seconds.
Epics. Oh my gosh, they have to plant it right now. They don't have time to plant. He doesn't have time to plant it. They have to go for the kills. Oh, wow. We're going to round 11.
Oh, boy, going all the way. Unfortunately, there, just Sauce made them rotate over, but he did get picked out. And what a round here for Johnson to finally show up to get that final extra blow. And what a time, with it being the last round. Get yourself on the board with 2 kills, actually. So he went from being completely cold and probably completely demotivated to ready to hit this with the ground running. And this is match point for Saints. If they don't get this they're going into loser's bracket early.
Yeah, and that's the definition of clutching up when it's Johnson there. Like, that's exactly when you need him to step it up, and he does. So great plays from him overall, but Saints, they are on defense, and that's what makes things worrying for Penn State. St. Clair's looked pretty dominant on defense before. If they did lose the defense round, they've barely given it up, and, you know, that's what's really going to provide them an upper hand here. They just need to get some early picks, and I think Brandon and Sauce, they're getting maybe a little too aggressive. I'm not sure, but it looks like they could actually, you know, kind of get out Fred there in the top, but maybe not. It's Johnson going to be getting tagged down from Lavelle a little bit. Lavelle makes it out with his life barely. I am shaking for them right here. And, you know, 45 seconds remaining on the clock. And no really kills have gone down from Penn State, and they don't have a whole lot of map control to work with. So if you're St. Clair, you're in a pretty good position here right now, but they're about to start flooding into B. And St. Clair, you've got to be ready for a Sauce. He's going to spot Blanche up there, but ultimately he'll fall down after. He's going to spot Epics and clean up Epics, but Epics will find Brandon. Ark finds Sauce. Priestley going to get one on a Blanche at the same time.
I'm down.
2v2. Lavelle going to fall. That is bombed down. So Priestley, he's going to wrap it.
He's got the whole match in the hands, or has the Saints match in his hands. Can he pull this off? It is going to get planted.
Don't even want to cast this right now. I'm dead silent just watching this.
It's going to be up to... It's Ark and Johnson, too. So it's... Oh, there's Ark. He's going to spot him out. So there's one. The one-on-one. Is Johnson going to clutch up in the last 2 rounds? Would be absolutely nuts. He has himself a streak, actually. Going to fire that one down.
He needs 7.5 seconds to defuse.
Yep, so he's got 20 right now on the clock. Actually, Johnson, with a bit of a roundabout play, actually... I think he's wasting enough time. He's doing exactly what he needs to do.
That's game. That's game. Penn State gonna take it 2-0, sending St. Clair Saints to the losers bracket round 1, and that is scary because now St. Clair, they're gonna be forced to win out from here on out. The Penn State JV squad looking real strong throughout that series, and you know, Danners, that's a close one. That's a rough one to lose considering they had the 4-2 lead. It's Miami. That's one of their search and destroy maps. And that's got to be a rough way to start the East qualifier. I mean, it really is rough. But, you know, I do have hope that they can go to the losers. Or I don't have hope. I know they can go to the losers and start to win out down there. So I'm not really too worried. But I am actually going to check the bracket real quick and see if our losers game is ready for us yet.
I gotta actually take a look alongside with here. We do have the bracket pulled up. Didn't have the exclamation mark bracket ready in the chat, but of course, with it being here, I gotta hop on over, refresh first off. Let's make sure we got this all up to date. Let's take a look on the losers side.
The game's not ready. The game's not ready yet. They haven't reported scores yet, so
I'm a little jumping the gun here.
Yeah, but I'll keep you guys updated on the bracket play. I know you guys like to follow the bracket or whatever it is. So if you guys need the bracket, just let me know. I'll be in chat ready to link it. And
Perfect,
you know, we will be following that throughout the whole night and really bringing it up quite often, as the bracket is really what we're going to be following kind of throughout this whole tournament. So PSU JV going to advance to round 2 and winners and go to play UA Gold. St. Clair Saints, though, waiting for their matchup to be reported and wait for our losers game to come up here now shortly. St. Clair Esports Club, they're going against Sheridan.
That's going to be interesting as well. And what is it about tournaments that Saints have just been kind of dropping the ball on so far? Like, the regular season for CCL, absolutely killing it. CCL Kickstarter tournament, just did not happen at all. Granted, that was single elimination, so you run up into, I guess, a really strong team, I guess you're toast. Yes, that's a thing. But then, Penn State JV, we know like we were saying before, Penn State main is actually a 6 squad. But apparently so is their JV team. And normally you would think that they're a little bit on the weaker side with their being the JV, not the main squad, but definitely proving us wrong here tonight. And now, of course, we're going to be taking a little bit of a breather as we do have to wait for some of the other matches to happen here. I believe the next match is technically scheduled for 8 o'clock, but it could start up sooner because it's a loser side of things.
Or it could start later. To be completely honest, the match hasn't even been reported yet. And I don't think our game is going to be ready in losers even then. So I wouldn't really anticipate the next game to really start kind of till 8:15 around there. So we probably will be going on about a 20-minute break for you guys. We will do a little bit of a pre-game talk before we get into our next game to kind of update you guys of what's been going on in the bracket. But for now, might as well that we got some of you here. We will give a quick shout out to our sponsors because it would not be possible without them. So thank you guys so much to the St. Clair College Alumni Association, PC Outlet, the Zekelman School of Business and Information Technology, St. Clair College, Tim Hortons, and the St. Clair SRC. Our production would not be possible without all of them. So huge shout out to all of those sponsors. And yeah, stay with us here as we get ready for losers round 1 or 2, depending if we get a buy in losers or not. So stay with us in there, and we will be back here to commentate with you guys shortly. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you shortly.